In this video I show you how to test an ESEM model with lavaan, Exploratory Structural Equation Modeling. First of all, why should you think about using ESEM instead of normal SEM? SEM, of course, is a combination of CFAs and path modeling. In a structural equation model, you have one or more confirmatory factor analyses for the measurement of the latent factors, and then you have a structural model that is path connecting those latent variables. One key problem in SEM often is the fit of the measurement part, and that's especially a problem with multidimensional scales, because there are many constructs around where you have subfactors. So you have one overall construct, but you have distinct subconstructs or lower order factors that together make up this construct. And in most cases there is a restrictive assumption that each item only loads on one of those subfactors. However, that's quite difficult for a multidimensional construct to generate items that really are that specific to only one subfactor, to one dimension of this multidimensional construct. Let's take as an example the measurement of stress with a multidimensional stress questionnaire with the dimensions or facets of depression, stress in the stricter sense, and anxiety. The classical SEM assumes that each item only loads on one of those dimensions. The problem is if you have cross-loadings that you don't model, then you can get biased results. The alternative, Exploratory Structural Equation Modeling, ESEM, here all possible cross-loadings are estimated. So here we run a three-factor exploratory factor analysis, but use the results of this EFA in the context of a structural equation model. So it's a combination of EFA and path modeling, and possibly of CFA as well. It's possible in a larger model, I will show you an example later on, to have some measurement models that are EFAs, exploratory factor analyses, and other measurement models in the same SEM that are confirmatory. So as an example, I want to predict three different dimensions of stress: depression, stress, and anxiety, from the personality dimension extraversion. Extraversion in this example is a measured variable, simply the mean of two items. And this here would be the way to do it in classical SEM. Whereas in ESEM, the structural part is the same, but the measurement part is different. For this we need lavaan. First I load the data, then I calculate the extraversion score. First let's run a classical SEM. So here we have the three dimensions, each with its own measurement model with the items that should go in theory based on this questionnaire, which load onto this factor, and then the structural path, here quite simply extraversion predicting the three different dimensions. We run that and let's look at the results. The model test is highly significant, however we have nearly 40,000 observations, so that's to be expected. The CFI is not really good, but I think it's okay. According to Hu and Bentler, it should be above 0.95. RMSEA is okay, and SRMR is okay too. And if we look at the measurement part, at the loadings, each item loads onto one factor, because that's the way we set up this model. And of course we could look at modification indices, and here immediately we see, in addition to error covariances, cross-loadings. The highest one is a cross-loading, the third highest one is a cross-loading, and so on. So clearly not all items load only on one factor. Now the same with ESEM. Here we set up the EFA as part of our ESEM model, the keyword EFA, and then in parentheses, in quotation signs, a label for this EFA. The name of the label is not relevant. The important part is that in this case all have the same label. Otherwise you will run into error messages. And then this function is multiplied with the name of the factor. So here we define a three-factor EFA with the factors DSA1, DSA2, and DSA3. Why have I used those names and not depression, stress, and anxiety? Because I don't know to which of those three factors the algorithm later assigns primarily the depression items, or the stress items, or the anxiety items. I only know those will be the three factors for this multidimensional measurement instrument measuring depression, stress, and anxiety, but which factor represents which of those three dimensions, that we can only later on deduce from the results and the factor loadings. Those three factors combined with plus signs, and then the normal symbol for loading, and then all the items. So all the items that were part of three different measurement models in the conventional SEM are now part of one exploratory factor analysis. And the definition of the regression is as always. Let's run this. The SEM function looks like an ordinary SEM function. And then the summary. Here we can see the rotation method for the EFA part was geomin oblique, so it's an oblique rotation. Later on I show you how you could change the rotation method. So here we have an EFA where the resulting three factors can be correlated, which is almost always the right choice if you have a multidimensional measurement instrument. Then the significant model test. Here the CFI is better, above 0.95, and RMSEA and SRMR are also better, because compared to the classical SEM model, here we have many additional cross-loadings, which lead to a better model fit. Now for the measurement models for our three factors, DSA1, DSA2 and DSA3, for each factor, all items can load on this factor. Therefore, this list of loadings is longer compared to a classical SEM. So first, we would like to know what is DSA1. And for that, we look at the standardized loadings, and we can see that here the first items have consistently high loadings on DSA1. And those first items were the depression items. So here in this example, DSA1 seems to be the depression factor. We can see all items that should load, in theory, on depression have moderate to high loadings. And we can see that the other items don't have very high loadings on this. So when it comes to measuring depression, those 7 items seem to be quite specific for depression. Then the second factor, here we can see high loadings, especially in this range. So those were the stress items. Therefore, DSA2 seems to be measuring stress. But 2 of those items that should measure stress, in theory, have only quite low loadings, QR8 and Q12. Q8 is, I found it difficult to relax, and Q12, I felt that I was using a lot of nervous energy. Those seem to be only somewhat connected to stress. At the same time, down here, with the items that should in theory measure anxiety, there are 2 items that have substantial loadings on the stress factor too, Q9 and Q20. Q9, I found myself in situations that made me so anxious, I was most relieved when they ended. And Q20, I felt scared without any good reason. So those 2 items that should in theory measure anxiety, to some extent seem to measure stress instead. And the third factor, most of the loadings are down here, so this should in theory be the anxiety factor. But here there are 2 items that in theory should be items for stress that have actually higher loadings for anxiety. Q8 and Q12, those 2 with rather low loadings for stress. This is not necessarily a bad measurement instrument. It's extremely difficult to construct items for multiple dimensions that only load on one dimension, as you can see in this example. And of course then we get the normal regression results, covariances and so on. That part of the output is the same as in any normal SEM output. And as in normal SEM, you can request modification indices. We don't get any suggestions for additional cross-loadings because in this example we have estimated all possible cross-loadings. So here we only see recommendations for error covariances. And if we wanted to do that, we could add error covariances to the model. Here, for instance, items Q17 and Q21. And this would be the model with this additional error covariance. So that part works exactly as in ordinary SEM with lavaan. If you want to change the rotation method, you could do that with the parameter rotation for the SEM function. And if you want to know what other rotation methods you could use, you can just use the help function. This was a very simple exploratory structural equation model, but you can use it for larger models too. Let's look at this model. Here again at first the conventional model. We have a 3-dimensional measurement of stress and a 2-dimensional measurement of happiness with positive effect and negative effect. And those 2 are mediators in this model and as a criterion variable, productivity in some organizational context, for instance. Here we have again the problem that it's quite likely that we have cross-loadings for the stress questionnaire and that it's likely that we have cross-loadings between the 2 dimensions of happiness, positive effect and negative effect. So here again we could use ESEM with 1 exploratory factor analysis for the first 3 dimensions, a second exploratory factor analysis for those 2 dimensions, and a classical CFA for productivity. So here we have an ESEM model with 2 EFAs and 1 CFA. I don't have data for this model, but I show you the code so that you know how you can estimate a more complex ESEM model. Here I have 2 EFAs and 1 CFA. The CFA is as always, and both EFAs work the same as I showed you earlier in our first example. Here EFA 1 with the 3 factors and the items that should go into those factors. And here EFA 2, and it's important here to use a different name because you want to estimate a second EFA with 2 factors and the items that should go into those 2 factors. So the number of factors for an EFA is simply decided by the number of lines you connect with the plus sign. This is the measurement part, and down here the regressions are simply using the latent variables that are defined as results of the 2 EFAs or as the result of the CFA. And you can use covariances and other SEM definitions as always. That's it for this introduction into exploratory structural equation modeling with R and lavaan. You can find code examples in my blog post about this topic. The link is in the video description. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.